Ever played that game, where like you give someone a word and
Uh,
they got to make it into a song or a story?
yeah, yeah.
Well, picture that, but with an AI,
Okay.
instead of a story, you get a haiku.
Interesting.
And that's what we're diving into. Like right now, your haiku hotline thing, using that AI chatbot. Remember,
Right, right.
we've got all those excerpts from the chat history.
I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yeah, it's wild. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Feeding single words to a bot,
Yeah.
and bam, back come these like structured poems.
It's pretty amazing what these things can do these days.
Right. Have you ever actually like sat down and thought about what AI poetry, what it says about creativity,
I think about it all the time. Yeah, it's fascinating. It really makes you question, like, our whole idea of where creativity comes from.
Yeah.
We think of it as this human thing, right? This unique thing.
Right.
But then AI comes along, starts creating art that, that actually speaks to us. It challenges everything.
It does. It does.
Makes us rethink what creativity even is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's jump back to the beginning a little. Back in March 2024,
Okay.
you started with Night, Black Night. You even just threw in Black Skin.
Basic.
Fickle.
Right.
Just words.
Right. But even in those early ones, it's kind of cool how it picks up on themes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And weaves them in.
Like with Night, it gave you moon's gentle embrace, stars twinkle in the night's grace, darkness finds its place.
There's a flow there.
Exactly. And then Black Night, it gave you black night drapes the land, stars like diamonds in the sand, silence close at hand.
Interesting.
It's sticking with this darkness, this light, this peacefulness,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So is it just like smart pattern recognition?
Possibly, yeah.
Or is it,
Or is there something more? Something almost artistic going on?
yeah, like, is it actually choosing?
Right.
That's the question.
This is where it gets really interesting, because at the stage,
Yeah.
it's probably relying a lot on pattern recognition, right? It's been trained on tons of text,
Right.
tons of poetry even.
Sure.
So it can recognize those common themes, the language patterns that go with, with night or black.
Well.
Essentially, it's using those patterns to build something that makes sense. So it's almost like a curator
Exactly.
pulling from this huge library of language and style, right?
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
And that's where this whole what do they call it?
Algorithmic reshuffling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that. It's not really coming up with new ideas, right?
Right. It's more about taking those existing pieces,
Yeah.
like building blocks, and then putting them together in a new way.
That fits the haiku, that fits the word you give it.
Exactly.
But it's still, to be able to do that,
It's impressive.
it's got to be complex.
right.
To make it sound coherent.
Absolutely.
Maybe even like beautiful,
It speaks to how advanced these algorithms are becoming.
Yeah.
The amount of data they're trained on is mind-boggling.
It's just the start though, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Because it gets even more interesting as we go on. The prompts get like way more abstract, and the AI's responses
Yeah.
way more, I don't know, deep.
Nuanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word.
That's where we really see what these systems can do.
Exactly.
Push the boundaries a little bit.
Now you've got me hooked. And speaking of hooked,
Yeah.
you didn't stop at night or black.
Yeah.
You gave it cloud, and not just once. Twice, back to back.
Back to back.
Like you were testing it.
Well, you have to, right?
I guess so.
You have to see if it can, think differently.
Divergent thinking, is that what they call it?
Exactly, divergent thinking. Can it come up with multiple different responses?
To the same prompt.
To the same prompt, yeah. Instead of just giving the same thing every time.
Right. That's the key here.
It's almost like you were saying to, all right, let's see what you got.
Show me what you can do. Yeah.
Can you handle this? So for cloud, the first time,
What did it give you?
it said, fluffy in the sky, clouds drift, painting shapes up high, nature's lullaby.
Nice.
Not bad, right?
Not bad at all.
And then for the second cloud,
Let's hear it.
it gave you soft clouds drift with grace, painting skies in vast embrace, nature's gentle face.
Interesting.
2 different haikus, same word.
So is it actually thinking divergently?
Right. Is this it? Is this the proof?
Or is it just, is it just pulling out synonyms?
Yeah, dressing up the same idea in a different outfit.
Exactly.
But it's a question, right?
Yeah. It's a huge question. Researchers are trying to figure that out right now.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah. It's a big debate in the field.
Huh. Fascinating.
It's hard to say for sure if it's, true divergent thinking
Yeah.
or if it's just, like you said, a super advanced form of pattern recognition.
But it's still pretty impressive
Oh, without a doubt.
to be able to adapt like that.
Absolutely. It shows that it can, pick up on those subtle differences.
And the responses, even if they're similar,
Yeah,
they're not just, copies of each other,
exactly. There's some variation there.
which is, I mean, that's got to count for something.
It definitely does. It definitely does.
Okay, so before we go crowning it the king of poetry, let's dig a little deeper
Yeah, let's break it down.
into the how.
The how, exactly.
How it's actually putting these haikus together.
The structure of the language.
Yeah, the language, how it's using language. Is it, to make meaning?
Yeah, it's more than just, is it good?
Right.
It's how is it doing this?
Exactly.
What's the process?
Let's get into the nitty-gritty
Let's do it.
of how the AI is using language to make us feel something.
To evoke emotion.
Yeah. And imagery.
Exactly.
The good stuff.
The good stuff.
So it's clear you weren't satisfied with, just simple words.
You had to up the ante.
Yeah, you started throwing, bigger ideas at it.
The abstract stuff.
Green, water,
Oh, wow.
even thrill.
What were you hoping to see there?
I wanted to know, could it handle those human experiences?
Okay, could it make that connection between, language and emotion?
Exactly.
What happened?
Well, for green, it gave this. Emerald hues bright. Green whispers life in plain sight. Nature's gentle might.
Interesting.
It's linking green to life, to nature.
Right. So is it drawing on those associations from the data?
Yeah, or is it actually understanding symbolism?
$1 million question right there.
Right.
It's definitely making connections that go beyond just basic definitions.
Yeah.
It's tapping into that cultural layer, the metaphors we have for these words.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's doing it consciously, like a person would, that's the debate.
Yeah. Okay, what about water? What to do with that?
Water is a good one.
This is what it came back with. In rivers that flow, waters dance, a tranquil show. Life's pure ebb and flow.
Ooh, like that.
That last line, though,
Life's pure ebb and flow.
it's kind of deep, right?
It really is. And that's the thing about this AI poetry, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's all just algorithms in the end,
Yeah.
it can still make us feel things.
Totally.
Make us think. It
Yeah.
can spark our imagination.
Absolutely. With thrill, this is what it came up with. Pulse quickens its pace. Thrill of the chase, time's embrace. A fleeting, sweet taste.
Ooh, I love that one. It's so evocative.
It gets you going, right?
Yeah. The way he uses those sensory details, pulse quickens, fleeting sweet taste.
Yeah.
You can practically feel it.
It's interesting, though. It keeps going back to nature.
Is it?
Even when the prompts are more, about feelings.
That's
It's it's using nature to kind of explain these bigger human things.
That's a really interesting observation. It's like nature is this wellspring of inspiration for the AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it's just reflecting the data it's trained on.
Or maybe.
Or maybe there's something inherently poetic about nature.
Yeah.
Something that even AI can't resist.
It makes you think.
It really does.
Now, okay, there's this one interaction, March 29th.
Okay.
You gave it the word Hanover
Hanover.
out of the blue.
Yeah, why Hanover?
I don't know, maybe you were feeling, hungry.
Huh. Maybe.
All right, so the haiku it gave back.
Hit me.
I'm here to amuse. Haikus light up the day clear. Laughter's always near. What do you make of that?
It's different, that's for sure.
Right.
It's not really about Hanover at all.
No.
Maybe he just doesn't know what to do with that word.
Maybe it's defaulting, just going for something, I don't know, generic.
Could be. Or maybe.
Or
Maybe it's developing a sense of humor.
Okay, now you're just messing with me.
I mean, it's possible, right?
I guess.
It's trying to lighten the mood.
After all that deep stuff.
Exactly.
All right, you got me there.
It's fun to think about.
It is, but we got to remember, there are still limits.
Oh, absolutely. It's not magic.
And speaking of limits...
The breakfast incident.
Oh, yeah. Poor AI. Totally stumped by breakfast.
Couldn't haiku its way out of that one.
It's a good reminder, isn't it?
Of what?
That as amazing as this all is, it's still,
Programmed.
Yeah, programmed. It's not about to go make itself a waffle.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, haha.
But what happens after breakfast? That's interesting, too.
Yeah, it's not making toast anytime soon, that's for sure.
Exactly. But after breakfast, you went in a whole other direction.
I did, didn't I?
Relationships, pretty complex stuff.
Well, I wanted to see, could it could it grasp that?
Nuances of human connection.
Yeah, all those unspoken rules we have.
The societal norms.
Exactly. So I gave it boy and girl first.
Okay, back to basics.
Kind of, right? And it gave me this. Laughter fills the air. Boy and girl, a playful pair. Love's young dream they share.
Sweet, innocent.
Right. Then I tried man and girl.
Stepping it up.
And the AI comes back with, underneath the stars, man and girl, love's guiding bars, two hearts beat as one.
Ooh, more romantic.
Right. And then, for man and wife, this is what it gave me. Years have come and gone, man and wife, their bond still strong, love's enduring song.
Wow, it's like it understands this progression.
I know, from playful to, like, passionate to this lasting love.
It's picking up on those narratives we have about relationships.
Just from the data.
Exactly. Which is amazing, but also, you know,
A little scary.
maybe.
Yeah.
We have to think about the biases in that data.
That's true.
If it's mostly trained on, traditional relationships,
Yeah.
it's going to reflect
It's
that.
gonna think that's how it always is.
Makes you wonder, what if we trained it on, like, all sorts of different relationships?
Different cultures, different...
Yeah, different ways of being together.
Would it change?
Would its poetry change? I'd love to see that experiment.
Me too. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Right. Back to the haiku hotline.
So as we go later into the log, April, May, what do you notice?
The language is changing. It's getting more, I don't know, more poetic.
Give me an example.
Like the one for sunflowers. Golden heads held high, sunflowers drink the summer sky, a silent bright sigh.
Oh, I like that.
It's more evocative, more metaphorical.
Do you think it's, like, actually learning?
It's possible, as it processes more data.
It gets better at being a poet.
Exactly. The more poetry it sees,
Right.
the better it gets at mimicking those forms, using those techniques.
Like practice, but for AI.
Exactly.
And then there's the haiku for eyes. This one really got to me.
Let's hear it.
You gave it eyes on April 4th.
Right.
And it responded, windows to the soul. Eyes reflect, the heart's console, emotions unroll.
Wow, it's getting deep.
Right, like it's trying to, I don't know.
To understand something profound.
Yeah, about what it means to really see someone, to connect with them on that level.
It's pretty amazing, even if it's just,
Even if it's just code.
Right. But then, the last haiku in the log,
May 13th.
you gave it one word. World.
Ah.
This is what it gave back. Mountains kiss the sky, world spins, clouds passing by, nature's lullaby.
That's beautiful.
I know, right? It's like, after all that exploring, those deep thoughts.
He comes back to this simple beauty.
Yeah, the world, just as it is.
Makes you think, what else can AI do?
What will it create?
Will it teach us to see the world differently?
That's something to think about, isn't it? Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the haiku hotline. It's been quite a ride.
It really has.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll be talking about AI writing novels, composing symphonies, or maybe even hosting podcasts.
Hey, now you're really pushing it. But until then, keep those imaginations running wild and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.